Wesley, a great game against Fedoseev. Can you
Thank
take
you.
us through it? How did you win it?
Well, it was a very tough game. I mean, it went for more than 5 hours. Well, he surprisingly played the Petrov, first of all, which I played against him yesterday. But I think it's the first time he's ever played the Petrov in his career. I mean, he plays many openings. He plays like 6 different openings against e4. But I haven't seen the Petrov. And he went for this line, bishop e7, knight c6. And I remember Anish Giri played knight bd2. And, if Anish plays something, it's got to be pretty good in the opening. And I remember looking at it a little bit, and I noticed that it's very slightly better for white. It's kind of unpleasant to defend with black because I control the e file, and also his minor pieces are a little bit misplaced, especially his bishop. But somehow he prepared really, really deeply. And I think around move 20, he still has 1 hour and 37 minutes, so he's gained 7 minutes from the increment instead of losing time. And so it's clear he's very well prepared. So I didn't really expect anything much. I thought that we make a few moves and the game was gonna draw soon. But then he played a little bit weakening moves. He played this move g7, g5, and then I think he missed bishop c1. Maybe he was expecting bishop g3. But g7, g5 is too risky with the queens over on the board. And then later on he made another mistake, bishop e7, when I think the simple rook f7 is just leads to the door, because this typical plan rook f7, rook e7 just kills all the pieces. It completely takes over the e file. And if the rooks are exchanged, then I have no more aggressive plans. But then surprisingly, play bishop e7. Then after h4, I got some chances because he's got some double pawns. And then I decided to change queens. And because I have a much better pawn structure. And then I found this plan b4, and then he cannot take because I'll create a pass a pawn. Then he has to defend, and then I won 1 pawn back. And in the endgame, I'm basically a pawn up because his doubled h pawns is gonna fall anytime. My main issue is to prevent his counterplay along the g file. Also, my king is kind of cornered on the h file. But then we made some moves, and I think he made a few mistakes. Then we shuffled back and forth, and at some point I had 3 minutes left on the clock, and I was really worried that he might claim a triple repetition somewhere because we were moving our pieces back and forth. And as he was thinking, I mean, he has a lot of time during the whole entire game. I noticed that if I trade the rooks, and I have this very nice plan, bishop a3, c1, d2, e1, to prevent his counterplay with h3 and king h4. And I noticed that it might be winning for white. At the very least, I'm not gonna lose on time. I think it's gonna be more complicated if the rooks are still on the board. But the bishop ending, he looks very nice. I think it's pretty much winning for white, but then he made another mistake by putting the king on c6. He should have put the king on e6 to control the e5 square, so I don't have this bishop f8, g7, e5 idea. But I still think it's very nice for white, and perhaps eventually winning, just because he has no counterplane and his pawns are on the dark squares. A very interesting point to note out is that if his pawn on a5 were on a light square, if it was on a6, then it's just a complete draw. But fortunately, his pawns are all on dark squares, like a5, f4, h4. That's why earlier on, I was happy when he played f5, f4, because these pawns get very weak. And I finally managed to win in the end. I'm very glad to be able to do so. I mean, it's very unfortunate for my opponent. I mean, it's sad to see someone go. I think for all the players in the World Cup left, no one really wants to go home, but someone has to win, and it's very sad to see someone go. But everyone has their day, and it's a great learning experience for everybody.